sometimes we think that finding purpose and meaning in our life is a science project, but really, what comes easy for you? A lot of times, the things that come easy for you are your gifts that are here for you to share and give to the world. Greetings, everyone. Thank y'all so much for joining me back on my channel, Hidden Alchemy by Sade. Whether you are watching me over on YouTube or if you're listening to me on Spotify, I am so grateful to have you here for today's podcast episode. Now, if it's your first time rocking with me, my name is Sade. I am a wellness and holistic coach specializing in physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional practices to really help you tap into your personal power, learn how to transform yourself from the inside out, and to really just help you live your best life and live and move from your highest potential. So if you are interested in my offerings, feel free to head over to my website, hiddenalchemybysade.com, where you can find tons and tons of my services, and you can send me an email and book me for a consultation. All right, everyone, let's dive into today's podcast episode, which is 4 ways to really find your purpose in life, or to help you find your purpose in life. And the reason why I felt like this episode was super important was just based off of the clients that I had been receiving for my astrology readings and my coaching services, and people really trying to figure out what is their next step in life, what is their calling besides the day-to-day jobs that they do. And we live in a world where we don't necessarily focus on the topic of purpose and the topic of the things that we really want to do beyond just making an income, and possibly turning our purpose and our passion into things that can bring us income. Because not all the time you need to turn your purpose and passion projects into things that make you money, but having something that gives you purpose, that makes you feel good about yourself, it really helps you to get through life a lot easier, and it helps you to meet more people in your tribe that can help you to get towards the goals and dreams that you have for yourself. So, what are some ways that you can really tap into finding your purpose? Things that have worked for me is continued learning. This is something that I think is so, so important, especially after you graduate either from high school or college. Because the reality is, once we graduate from school, we kind of forget about this notion of learning and taking classes and learning new subjects and new things every year. And when you think about it, we go from being in school from the age of 4 or 5, and we are learning different things for 6 hours out of the day. Every year we increase that learning by a level. Once we graduate, we kind of stop doing that because we get so focused on work. And yes, we learn new things about our work, but we also don't take the opportunity or the time to add on an extra class, right? Maybe add on a cooking class, add on a painting class, add on a dance class, add something else onto your day that is something new that you haven't studied before. And when you do something like this, it helps you to either learn, this might be something that I am interested in, this might be something that I actually have good skill at. I know for me, it was learning a second language and a third language. When I lived overseas in Asia, when I was living in China for 3.5 years, I learned Mandarin, and I learned that I actually have a knack of learning languages. Same thing happened with me with learning Spanish. I wouldn't have knew this if I wouldn't have taken on that challenge of adding something new onto my schedule. Luckily for me, living overseas in another country, I kind of had no choice but to learn the language. But I was able to find great pleasure and great joy in learning another language. And I was able to realize I have a skill, I have a gift in speech, I have a gift in understanding languages and using that to connect with people. Now, lesson number 2 in finding your purpose is do the things that bring you joy and that also can bring other people joy. Okay? Sometimes we may think finding our purpose has to be this science project that we have to figure out, but really truly it's doing the things that make you happy, that make you feel good. And when you do these things that make you feel good, you can also offer these things as a way of service to other people to help other people feel good. I'm a person and a true believer in believing that we are all here to be of service to humanity in some way, shape, or form. And everyone has their unique way of being of service. And when you find that thing that makes you happy, that brings you joy, and you learn it, and then you teach it to other people, or you create something that you can give to other people, that other people can also now find joy in something that you created that brings you joy, that's a really good way of finding purpose and feeling good about the work that you do, and feeling good being a citizen of society and giving back in some way. Now, lesson number 3 in how to find your purpose is spend time alone. And I know this one is not the funnest thing, but it's something that can really, really help you to learn who you are. We spend so much time in our day to day around our colleagues, around our friends, around our family, around our children. And a lot of times we don't get that downtime to say, I'm just going to do something by myself and spend time alone and learn from spending time alone what it actually is that you like. Because a lot of times when we're constantly around other people, it puts a little bit of a blur on what we want as an individual. And there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. But when that is something that is a constant thing throughout our day, it can really block us from figuring out what we truly need, what we truly want for ourselves. And when you take the downtime to spend time with yourself and to learn what it is that you really want and need, that's when you're able to start going on those paths and those journeys alone, or you meet people that also have that interest. And together, y'all can learn something new. You can take on a new hobby. You can create something that makes you really feel fulfilled about what you are doing. So, spending time alone and really getting to know yourself, get to know what you don't like, get to know what you do like. That's a really great way of finding purpose, finding meaning to what you want to do and why you're here. And lastly, tip and lesson number 4, what comes easy for you? And again, it ties into what I said about tip number 2 is figuring out what it is that brings you joy. Sometimes we think that finding purpose and meaning in our life is a science project, but really, what comes easy for you? A lot of times, the things that come easy for you are your gifts that are here for you to share and give to the world. But a lot of times we have a hard time finding what comes easy for us because we're so boggled down with the tasks and things that we have to do for other people or for work, which is very normal. But if you take that downtime and spend time with yourself, engage in a hobby, engage in a new study, engage in something that brings you joy, you're able to figure out, oh, this is something that actually comes very easy for me. Something that comes very easy for me that I had to learn, public speaking, right? And I learned that through taking public speaking classes and challenging myself through taking public speaking classes and learning something new. But through learning something new, I was able to realize this is something that comes very easy for me. So let me go ahead and use this gift that I have and talk about things that mean something to me and share information and hope that that can be purposeful information for other people. So really finding the things that come easy and come natural for you, that's going to help you to figure out what is my purpose, what is my why, and how can I find more meaning to what I'm doing and more meaning to the life that I live. I'm such a firm believer that we are all here to do great things in our own life, whether that be on a more personal, intimate level or on a grand, larger level. It's just about taking that time to figure out who you are, what you love, learning something new, and what comes easy for you. And then having the courage to share that with other people and to be seen for the beautiful gifts that you have. And that will help to bring a lot more meaning into your life, especially once we are of service to other people and just helping other people in humanity and as a collective. So these are my 4 ways that have helped me figure out purpose and meaning in my life. And I am here to share it with you all and hoping that you can find some purpose and meaning in yours as well. All right, everyone. Thank y'all so much for joining me on my podcast. Feel free to drop a comment down below if you're watching me on YouTube, letting me know how you have found purpose and meaning for your life. And also keeping in mind that our purpose and meaning can always change as we grow. And that is completely fine as long as you are open to learning and finding that. So let me know your thoughts. If you're listening to me over on Spotify, please feel free to send me a message right on my website, Hidden Alchemy by Sade. I would love to hear from you. And I will see you all for my next podcast episode.